Hello friends, so now in this second video of primitive and non-primitive data type, okay, part 2 of primitive and non-primitive, we'll discuss the previous issue which we were facing during the this learning of primitive and non-primitive, like symbol issues. So issue was coming because we have not typed this into the string value. So let me just refresh this one. Okay, let me just save and refresh it. It was showing like this one, right? So if you will get any value to string conversion error, then you should just simply write dot string. So this symbol will convert into the string string variable during the console.log print. Okay, this way. Now you can see it is converted into the symbol. That is the first thing. Now second thing, we will discuss how to change both the primitive and non-primitive values. Okay, you can change the values of primitive and non-primitive values, but you cannot change the pair in non-primitive and actual variable of primitive. Okay, means actual variable of primitive you cannot change it, and you cannot also change the non-primitive key. Okay, but you can change the values of both the primitive and non-primitive. So just let me show you how. So let's say this is the num, right? This is your original variable of primitive, but you can change this value at any time, like 234. So if I save this one, now it is 23, it would be 234. You can also convert this into the string hdf. Okay, you can see you can also convert this into the string variable. Same thing you can apply for this boolean one. Okay, you can see this way. Okay, so this is the way to change the value of primitive, and the same way you can change the value of non-primitive, but for that it is the same thing. You don't need to do anything. Just here I am just applying this way object dot as let's say using the name key variable, right? So now it is the Raju. So now let's say Rohit. Okay, this way you can also change. Now if you see in this one, now it is not showing anything. Why? Because we have just put it. Okay, let me see the previous one first. I am just committing, so this code will be disabled. Now it is a Raju, right? So if I just convert into the Rohit by removing this comments or comment here Rohit, okay, you can see it's changed. You can also use this method. Okay, and also if we can, let's say, use this method as well. Let's see this is also working or not. This is also working or not. What do you think? Do you think it's not changing any values, right? Because there is no zero pair key in this one, that's why. But if I use this way, now let's see what will happen. It will give you the error, right? Why? Because this is the array. Okay, in when we are using this bracket. But if you use this collections or list or something, okay, collection or list or whatever, so you can change these values. Collection m, let's see. Now what is the collection name was our ad, right? Now this should be Rohit 1. You can see it's a Rohit 1, or you can just change anything. Let's say 1 to 12, right? So this way you can mute this non-primitive values but not key. Okay, so let's say why not key. Okay, so if I want to change, okay, let's say collection dot name is equal to not collection, object would be the better example for this one. Okay, so let's say id. Okay, so I am replacing this object with this one. Okay, let's see how it's work. This will throw you the error. You can see assignment to constant variable. Okay, and if you let's say now your problem is this is the constant variable, that's why. So let's assume now we will change it to the let. Again this will give you the same error. No, it is not giving the same error. Why? This is directly showing this undefined. You can see it is directly showing the undefined because it is not changing or assigning this variable in this one. Data types is object. Okay, now this const variable, if now let's see if I remove this one and let's say what will be the value will come. Raju, right? That the data type is object. You can see this one. Okay, so whenever you want to change the key of any non-primitive, this will give you the this will give you the error, or sometime this will not give you the error but it will give you the undefined print value, like in this case. Okay, whatever we did in this one, object.ids, or let's say if you not put any name or something in this one, right? Because whatever you have assigned, you are just changing this key, so you will have to put this id something there. You can see ad or s, or sorry, this one sd. So let's say I am putting here test1, right? Okay, so this way if you use the let variable, okay, that time you can change entire your key, and or you can change entire your array one. Okay, this is your array, but if you use the const one, then this will not allow you to change. You can see in the case of const. So the summary of this one, in non-primitive you can also change, not change, you can replace entire array key with values if you use the let variable. Okay, if you use the let variable, but you will have to also change the property accordingly. But if you use the const variable or const data type something, okay, so that time you cannot replace the original key. That is the difference between the let and const. This is very helpful during the change the non-primitive values and keys. So you think that this id should be replaced with this name and those things. No, you can change entire array with your previous one if you are using the let variable. But if you are using the const variable, okay, or const, then in that case, in non-primitive case, you can just change the value, not the key. Okay, this is key, and this in double quotation whatever is there, that called values. Okay, so that is the difference between the const and let variable. It's the that we had all already discussed in our first videos. Okay, so hope you just refer those things. So the summary is then okay, so as per the developer perspective, I will say the single thing. Okay, as per my experience, primitive value you can change, non-primitive value you can also change. Okay, like this way we had changed this boolean to string, right? That both are the possible if you have some practice of this variable. Okay, that is just documented thing, which is I don't think so related to the practical project, that this primitive is immutable. That is just for the thinking purpose. For the practical purpose, you can also mute this num values. Okay, both the primitive and non-primitive mutable if you use some logics. Okay, but if you just go through with the documentation, then I don't think so that will give you the more confusion. So rather than believe on documentation, believe you on your practice. Okay, just you can change the primitive values, and you can also change the new non-primitive values. Okay, primitive by assigning the values, and the non-primitive the same thing, reassigning the values. But if you are using the const variable, right, and if it's come under the non-primitive, then you cannot change the key, okay, of that array. Okay, but if you use the let variable, then you can replace entire this you can replace your entire array with a new array, like this way. Okay, so that is the difference. So in summary, you can both are the mutable as a as a practice perspective, and that work, and that most of the developer does. Okay, but if you go to the documentation in book way, then this will give you very complexity. So everything is possible in JavaScript. Both the primitive and non-primitive is mutable. Okay, the document wherever is saying that primitive is immutable, but that is for the document purpose, and they are just that based on the deeper logic. But if you are just, when you come into the development stage, you can also change the this primitive values as well. Okay, and you can also reassign this primitive to non you can also change the variable of this thing. Let's say logical, if I just put into this num. Okay, so this I am replacing with this one. Okay, let's see. So this will also work. You can see. So everything is mutable in JavaScript, but if you read some document, then you will get some limitation. But when you go to the practice one, so you will get the solution of that limitation. So believe in practice, and after practice you will realize that everything is mutable in JavaScript according to the experience. But as per the documentation, there is some limitation of mutable and unmutable thing. That's all. Thank you for watching these videos.